Welcome friends to my video reviewing a NAS, two different types of Synology NAS, the DS218 Plus and the DS218J. Both are two main NASs, and why you need one. Well, what a NAS stands for is network attached storage. So what you do is you have this little box with one or two hard drives, depending on the size that you get, running all the time. And it's connected where your, let's say your internet connection router is, where you can plug in this network cable in, and you could use it for various functionalities. So what you have is basically your own personal cloud that you can access at home. Also, it allows you to have a drive that could be shared across your family members at home. One of the things I use it for is I have this app called Qnap Backup. Qnap Backup is an app for the iPhone. So there you just put in the settings for your NAS locally on your local network. And what it allows me to do is back up these videos that I take with my iPhone right to a NAS, and from the NAS I could load it into a video editing program, or I just have a backup of the photos that I have on my phone, photos and videos. Why is this important? Well, your phone could break at any point. You know, I've had a time where I just connect the phone and it just doesn't turn on. You know, you go to the Apple store and they're like, oh, $600 for a new phone, please. So it's not just the phone. Just think about all the pictures you took, all the memories you have on that phone, all that data you have backed up, basically in the form of the pictures. At least your contacts there are synchronized to the iCloud, or with Google, whatever other clouds that they have. However, your photos and videos, to synchronize to the cloud, you would have to pay for it, so that's a monthly expense. What if you forget to pay the bill? Do these items get deleted? I don't know. I just know that I can make this huge 4K video and transfer it quickly and easily by connecting it over my network. So you could connect it via Wi-Fi, or you could get a dongle for your phone that will allow you to transfer it right to the NAS. Another thing that it could do is it's kind of like a web server. So you could have it host your, let's say, note files. There's an app called Joplin, Joplin. It's an app that's for the PC, the Android, for the iPad, for any device that you could think of, probably Linux too. And what it allows you to do with a server like this, you can synchronize the notes. So what's beautiful about that note-taking app is that you have a local copy stored right on your phone, right on the phone. You have a copy of those notes, and because you have this note, your own cloud, you could synchronize with that. So let's say you're working on your phone and you copy a link from somewhere. You could then go on your desktop PC and open up that same note and continue working from there. Or on your desktop PC, you could get a browser extension for Firefox that allows you to take a quick snippet of the URL and take a quick note about it. So let's say when I'm watching a video, I say, oh, this tech video gave me a good idea about so-and-so, and 3 minutes in, he talks about the so-and-so. So I love being able to then be able to access it on any device that I want, and each device has a local copy of it. However, you need a centralized location for your notes. One of the options for Joplin is you could store it in the cloud. You could get a Dropbox account. However, with Dropbox, you only have limited space. For free, you get maybe 2 gigabytes, 5 gigabytes, 6 gigabytes. A lot of these cloud services have very little space. So forget about storing your photos and videos. They just want to store your credit card number to charge it every month. So what you have is technically the ability to have your own cloud and expand it as you need it. So the example being is that you could get a 4 terabyte drive on SSD. I recommend running an SSD in these because SSD drives, SATA SSDs, they run cool. They don't have any fans. They don't spin. So chances are they're gonna last a lot longer. Yes, they're a little bit more expensive. However, your data is worth it. Also, what's cool about this unit is for example, this 2-bay. It has 2 drive sleds, right? Yeah. It has two places where you can connect. Towards the back, there's a little connector you could see that connects this. And what you could do with that is that, let's say your data is very important to you. You could program this unit. It's all done on the software. It's all with a graphical user interface. It's all accessible to the browser via your iPad, your computer, your Mac, your laptop, whatever you want. And you could tell it to make a synchronized copy of each of the drives. So let's say you buy 2 4 terabyte SSDs, and if one drive fails, the other drive still has all your data on it. Your data is still accessible. So you could literally pull out the broken one, replace it with a fresh one, and then it's going to copy over all the data back over again, and then you still have 2 drives. So your photos are backed up and safe. However, I don't know what happens if the actual box fails, whether you could just take the drives and just put them into another one, or maybe another one of the same unit, possibly. I don't know. But it's basically designed that you could have what's called is RAID, a redundant array of disks. So the idea is your data is backed up, and it allows you to, so your notes. Your notes are important. So in the notes, you could maybe save your credentials for accessing websites, links to websites, a whole bunch of stuff as you're browsing the web, as you're collecting all this data. That's one of the most important things that we have in this digital age is our data. So think about it. You have a family. You have 1, 2, 3 people, all with phones, and it's a possibility the phone can fall in the ocean. However, if you backed up all the photos and videos from it, you just go to the Apple store, you go to the Android store, you pick up a brand new phone, and you just on from there, and your photos are backed up. Also, Synology has an account where it allows you to access your files also from the internet. So just like a cloud service like Dropbox, you can access your files over the internet and also share them. So let's say you have a big video file that you and your family took, you could share it with grandma and grandpa, and they could download to their own Synology or to their own computer, wherever they want to save it to, and you could share it using that. The uses are infinite. It's basically a server in a box, and this thing doesn't take much watts. Don't hold me to it, but probably when it's idle, it could be 10, 20, 30 watts, maximum 50, 60, because that's what it says on the bottom, right? 12 volts, 5 amps. So at full tilt, it maximum that they cited is that it could do 60. However, it's probably doing much less. So this guy isn't creating a crazy energy bill, and it creates a place for you to store your items very easily. And the setup is also very easy. You literally take this the drive caddy right here, right? So over here, one second. So boom, this is actually a toolless installation, so you don't even need screws. You pull off these things, and then you could just put the unit in there. Or let's see, like on this one. On this one, see there's screws, you could just screw the unit in. Or like this SSD, let's say this is the SSD that I recommend. So this one is probably not that good for SSDs unless you they have these little sleds that convert a 2.5 to a 3.5 size. It's like basically a little metal bracket. So you could use that with 3.5s. So over here, you just have 4 screws that you screw in over here in the bottom, right? Yeah, the 4 screws line up with the screws on the bottom of the drive, right? And that's it. And then it just slides in. Then you go to your computer. There's the Synology Assistant. It finds it on your network. You log in, create a username and password, and it's all just graphical user interface. And it says, oh, this is the drive. You create a shared drive, and then you can share it on your network. So that's also the convenience of the NAS, is that it allows cross-platform sharing. So, for example, having a Mac computer, it's sometimes hard to access a Windows computer, and vice versa. You know, they're all, and also on Macs, you know, they always want to sell you the bigger drive for like hundreds and thousands of dollars. However, most of the time you don't need it. But if you have big photos and videos, what you could do is you could store them on the NAS and then access them when you need them, how you want them, right from the NAS. And there's even apps. There's even like a Photos app for Synology. It looks like Google Photos. So here's the steps. Okay, you take a new drive, you buy a drive, you buy it, you find it. So I recommend an SSD. It's much smaller than this big guy. So this big guy, it drains more power, right? It says 0.40 amps at 12 volts DC, 0.55 amps. So that's 6-7 watts. And there's always a little spinning platter inside. And eventually, I think these are more prone to breaking than one of these. And this guy doesn't even get hot. So there's different kinds of SSD drives. For most NASs, they just use standard SATA interface. Why don't you need the fastest drive in these? Is that, see, this is a networking port. Most NASs, or a lot of them, still have 1 gigabit connection. What does 1 gigabit mean? 1 gigabit translates to like 100 megabytes a second transfer speed. Most of the time, that's more than enough for like a thing like a phone. And the more expensive NASs that you can get is they have a 10 gigabit. However, for the 10 gigabit networking, you need a 10 gigabit switch and you need 10 gigabit networking computers, because most computers are just 1 gigabit. Only recently have they been making 2.5 gigabits. So the deluxe drives are 10 gigabit. So those are like a lot more expensive. So this is affordable, and 100 megabytes a second is reasonably fast. It's not as fast as if you like took an SSD and connected it directly. This could be read up to 500 megabytes. So what you have is a limit of 100 megabytes a second transfer speed. However, it's over the network and it's accessible 24/7 across all your devices, and if you choose to, only if you choose to, through the internet, if you decide to create a Synology account through web access. So let's summarize the steps. You get the Synology, you get a drive. I recommend buying brand new. Drives brand new and used seem to be like same price, and brand new you could always return it. Like, you know, Amazon links below. And boom, slide it right in. Find it using the Synology Assistant. Log in, create the username and password, and that's about it. Off you go. Then you search on the App Store in your iPhone for Qnap backup. It's probably similar on Android. The app might cost like, I don't know, $5-10. I don't remember how much it cost me. But it's worth it. You got to support the developers. And then you type in all the IP address, which is accessible through the web interface on the Synology. It tells you the IP address. You type it in, the username, the password, boom, log in, and when you're home on your Wi-Fi network, you can back up all your big photos and videos. You can take your 4K videos. You're not running out of space. And the Qnap backup, also there's a button that says clear space. So let's say your phone is filling up with from all the videos. After backing up, you could tell it to just delete all those photos and videos right from your phone, because you already have them backed up here. And chances are, if you have, let's say if you decide to get 2 SSD drives in here, most likely, probably 99% chance that there would be no failure. However, I still always recommend to have several backups. So on your PC, take a external USB drive and back up your data periodically, because that's standard operating practice. Because for computer guys, if it's important data, you should back it up. On PCs, there's like BitLocker, and there's also on Mac there's encryption, so you could have an encrypted drive. You could just have it hanging around the house, and you wouldn't be even worried about it because it's encrypted, so nobody could access it without the password. So, yeah. How much are your photos worth? How much is your information worth? How much is your ability to keep private from sharing all your data with Google and Apple and Microsoft and whoever else that's taking all your data, that's reading all your emails, that's reading your messages, and who knows like what kind of photos and videos you take, let's say of you and your wife, during a vacation. You never know. So do you want to share that with iCloud? I don't know. There's a whole bunch of people out there. I believe you should take your data back, have it secure and safe, and each one of you have like your own Joplin, taking notes from all over the place, being able to go from computer to computer, from an iPad to a PC to a MacBook. I have all those things, and using Joplin, using a Synology NAS, or there's also a Qnap NASs. I also recommend Qnap. Qnap is fantastic. Both are fantastic. I like Qnap. It's from Taiwan. I don't know where Synology is based. They work well. Beautiful graphical user interfaces. Very understandable to see. There's plenty of YouTube videos that teach you how to do more advanced things. So this guy gets screwed in, plopped in, plugged into the power. You press the power button, and then off you go to the races. I mean, they've set it up so simple. You could have your own clouds, and the least it's gonna be running is this little tiny fan in the back, which you most likely won't even hear much or at all, because if you don't have the spinning drives, it's the spinning drives that make the noise. They're heavy duty guys. These SSDs. Okay, so why these are also really good. If you have like, I don't know, the whole entire movie collections, let's say you back up your DVD collection to one of these, like you probably want the 10 terabyte. However, probably for most people's use cases is that they want to back up their phones, your Android, your iPhone. God forbid losing the phone or all that memories, all those photos. Have them backed up, and then back up the backup to an encrypted drive, BitLocker, or whatever Apple encryption there is. So this is kind of like a review of these two different units. Probably you could buy these used. Even if you bought it used, there's no problems with it, because the last person took out their drives, and you just populate with your own drive. Nobody's data is on there. It's all yours. It's all safe. It's all secure. The drives are easy to plug in. This is the 218J. So this is obviously the better one, because it allows you to easily and quickly swap out the drives. On this one, you actually have to kind of like turn it off and take 2 screws out on the back and pop off this cover before you could access the drives. So this one's slightly better also because it has this little RAM upgrade thing. However, that's for more advanced users. For most people's use cases, you don't need to upgrade the RAM whatsoever. However, if you install a lot of programs and a lot of programs are running in the background on it, you might want to upgrade that. Also, there's a synchronization thing too. Kind of like iCloud, kind of like Windows Drive, Microsoft Drive, OneDrive, Google Drive, and stuff like that. You could install, let's say, a folder in your computer where you could just drop a file and it synchronizes across all computers sharing that same folder. So that's another, benefit of having your own cloud. There's just so many benefits. I highly recommend it for everybody. Synology things are linked below. I'm going to give you the model numbers for these two. I don't know if these are available. There's probably a newer model. These are a few years old, and that's the reason why I have them out, because, I've upgraded to a slightly faster one, like a Qnap with a 10 gigabit connection. So I'm not using these at the moment, so I decided to make a quick video about this, because that's it's just awesome technology. It is it works for the long term, keeps you safe and secure. The software is great, and all your memories are backed up. Also, that's how I can do YouTube videos very quickly. I quickly take a video, then I back it up to the Synology, then I open up DaVinci Resolve, throw the clips together, put them together, and export them, and upload them right up. So, thumb up the video, put your comments below, tell me your reasons why you like a NAS. Is there some use case that I didn't mention that most people wouldn't benefit from? I say just so for Joplin, you need to enable Webdav, the Webdav. So you don't have to give all your data to Dropbox, your notes and stuff like that. Be safe, be secure, be private, enjoy your life, be thankful every day. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Talk soon.